know people always complain that modern games are too easy? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 hardest modern video games to beat. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. While the difficulty in most games has been taken down a notch since the unforgiving and brutal third generation, there are still quite a few dark games that are almost guaranteed to crush your soul. For this list, we're looking at any game released after the year 2000 that has extreme consequences, ruthless enemy aggression, or just make you want to take a sledgehammer to your console.
Whatever. Do as you please.
Number 10, Xcom, Enemy Unknown.
One fact is quite clear. The militaries of the world are severely outgunned.
Fans have been asking for a new Xcom game for almost 20 years, and they were pretty darn happy with Enemy Unknown. While the standard campaign is guaranteed to challenge most players, remember kids, build those satellites early.
Most advanced technology, but still they fall.
The option of permadeath made a return, making for one of the most challenging and genuinely hardcore gaming experiences in recent memory. Not only tactical on the battlefield, but players have to strategize on a global scale in between combat. Combined with a luck factor, this is a game that had you wincing in fear during every move, because it could be your last.
Good luck, Commander.
Number 9, Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
With a complex combat system that forces you to experiment with combos, as well as having to adapt to a multitude of different boss attack patterns, players were constantly restarting missions here. The checkpoint system was the same as it was in the first game, though they give you 0 yellow orbs to start with this time, and totally underemphasize the importance of them. If the third game is your first experience with Dante, then you're in for an exciting but brutal experience. DMC3 retained the old school difficulty of older games, but with a stylish new approach.
That is what the something is! Remember that, kid? Write it down on your hand if you don't trust your head.
Number 8, Donkey Kong Country Returns. Just as difficult as any of the old classic Donkey Kong Country games, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who can simply breeze through this one. And if you've had no experience with the previous games, then best of luck to you, my friend, but at least you'll enjoy the music. Anyway, you'll need to be immensely focused and time your jumps to the millisecond, or you'll find yourself pulling your hair out in frustration. The game is so hard that when it was released on the 3DS, it gave players the choice of an easy mode. Oh, and if you think easy means easy, then guess again. Number 7, Spelunky.
Whether you choose to adventure alone or with friends, you'll never play the same game twice.
Okay, you know a game that keeps a record of how many times you've died is definitely going to be hard. The reason it's so difficult is because every time you attempt a level, it changes. The only way to beat the game is to play constantly and, die over and over again to refine your skills. So no matter how it changes, you'll be ready. If you somehow manage to beat it, you may not even have discovered the actual end, as the secret level, the City of Gold, is what you're really after. And just reaching that is by far one of adventure gaming's biggest challenges. Number 6, I Wanna Be the Guy, the movie, The Game. To become the guy, the kid, aka you, must traverse some insanely bizarre examples of platforming level design. Throw out all knowledge you have about modern day platformers, because it probably won't help you here. Always tossing you curveballs, you'll have to constantly start over, as there are traps that are just straight up impossible to avoid until you know they're there. And you only know they're there once they, killed you. If you play on the easiest difficulty, the game calls you a wuss. Wait, what? That's not cool. Number 5, FZero GX. The classic F-Zero returned to our living rooms in 2003, and it brought all the high-speed thrills and difficulty with it. Reaching up to speeds of over 1,000 kilometers per hour, a slight delay in reaction could cost you the race. Every chapter is significantly harder than the previous one, but tight control and wonderful tracks made the game as fair as it was challenging. Most players will even forget about beating the game, as just staying alive at these breakneck speeds will make it almost impossible to beat. Number 4, Super Meat Boy. Impeccably well designed and thought out, yet immensely challenging, Super Meat Boy manages to make a simple side-scrolling platformer a blast to play that never really gets stale. Part of the reason why is that although it's frustratingly difficult with a steep learning curve, it is surprisingly fair. Seriously, these are the tightest controls we've ever seen in a 2D platformer. So, every time you die, you basically know that it's all your fault. The satisfaction from completing a level is always short-lived, however, as every new zone adds new and creative challenges that will inevitably leave you painting the levels red. Number 3, Demon's Souls. The Dark Souls series has hardened an entire generation of gamers with its grueling difficulty and unforgiving combat. But before we had a chance to come to terms with that series, however, Demon's Souls left players broken and defeated. In case you've been living under a rock for the last few generations, the Souls series is punishing. Some areas eventually lead you to question your sanity, with relentless and ferocious enemies constantly hounding you before fighting bosses who do not around. Patience, tactics, and inventory management are essential for survival, and instead of having a negative impact on those expecting a traditional hack and slash, this proved to be one of the most rewarding gaming experiences ever. Number 2, Mega Man 9. The old NES games were hard enough, but Capcom wouldn't let its notoriously difficult action platformer get soft on us. 2009's Mega Man 9 saw a return to the old school retro feel and look of the classic entries, yet they somehow managed to up the difficulty. Yeah, you need absolutely perfect reflexes and hand-eye coordination, but most importantly, to remain calm and collected, or you'll just be rushing to your death. Knowing full well that gamers have had years of practice with the Blue Bomber just meant that Capcom had to keep things fresh with a game that will challenge even the most seasoned of fans. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, Ninja Gaiden Black. You're either always dodging or always attacking in this action hack and slash that lives up to the Ninja Gaiden reputation. There is literally no time to rest, as you're always barraged by relentless and frustratingly tough enemies. Like the 1989 classic, the only way to beat the game is with complete mastery, and that's no easy feat. It's the ultimate test of endurance and skill, and that's just referring to the regular enemies. Bosses are on an insanely difficult new level, with often no discernible attack pattern or moveset, which requires you to adapt on the fly. Seriously, being a real ninja fighting demons would probably be easier. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.